And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, October 25th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome here on a Wednesday morning. It's warmer outside. It's going to be a wonderful Wednesday, and we're glad to have you with us. We're glad to be on the air each Wednesday at this time for Cedarstone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. Bob McDonald is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you. Great to be with you in person. Susan, when I left this morning, she said they're going to be surprised to see you.
And she wasn't wrong.
And she wasn't wrong. I surprised MJ when I came in. Billy had to take a second look. I surprised you. But thanks for letting me call in these weeks that I have to.
You and I have gotten so used to whether you're here or whether you're calling in. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah. Well, and you are always so accommodating. When I have to call in, MJ tells me don't call till 7, so I wait till 7 o'clock, and someone always answers, either Billy or MJ. Sometimes you do.
Yeah. Well, it's an anticipation thing.
Yeah. But it's great to be with you, and
well, it's always nice to have you, whether you're on the phone or right here with us, talk about Cedarstone Bank. You've had a great run, and things are looking well for this year.
Yeah, they are. We're having a great year, Coleman, and it's been, I would say, our best year ever, just in terms of growth and the financial performance of the bank. I mean, we've had unprecedented loan growth and deposit growth, and
That sounds a little incredible in a way, with the way the economy has been and the way the Fed has raised interest rates. You might not have thought that at the beginning of this year.
You would not this time last year when we were setting our financial projections for this year. We did not see this coming, and we're in that process right now of completing our plans for 2024, and you just never know what to expect in uncertain economic conditions like we're in now and like we've been in Coleman for the last 3 or 4 years. And all you can do is make your best plans based on best information you have at hand, and that's what we always do. But we didn't see this coming. Rates are the highest that I've seen them, Coleman, I think since we've been in business almost 20 years now. I've not seen rates this high, but it's not keeping people or businesses from doing what they have to do. I mean, if you've got to buy a house, you have to buy a house. If you have to buy a car, you have to buy a car. If a business has a piece of equipment that needs to be replaced, and that business owner is going to do that, and that's what we've seen. And there's still a lot of confidence in the economy, and that's primarily because employment continues to be very good, wages continue to be very good. So that's what brings the confidence. Stock market's a little bouncy right now. A couple of weeks ago, it was sitting around 34,000. It's dropped below 32,000 earlier in the week, but it's back up a little bit. But that's to be expected. If you ask 10 economists what's 2024 going to bring, 5 will tell you recession, 5 will tell you not, 5 will tell you soft landing. So we just don't know where that's going to land, but we'll be ready either way.
Well, you've got a lot to offer, whether it's one of your loans, whether it's a CD, or whether you're wanting to open up a checking account.
Exactly. So if it's a great time now for depository accounts, as you mentioned, rates are good. So we're very active with certificates of deposits, money market accounts. Of course, we always are very busy with our Simply Free checking account, which we always wrap up with, but it's still a great program. Coleman, it's the cornerstone of our bank in terms of our products. We think the checking account is the most important banking account, and it's completely free, Coleman. It's, if you want to do your banking what I call the old-fashioned way, if you want to come in the bank and see our great people, see our pretty buildings, if you want to write checks with paper, you can do that. Those checks are free. If you want to do your banking a little more electronically, you can do that. We've got all the bells and whistles in terms of online banking. You can bank on the computer. You can bank with your phone. And you never have to come in if you don't want to, but we like to see our customers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you were saying not too long ago you don't write checks anymore, and I got to looking. I don't write near as many as I used to.
Yeah.
There's other ways of doing it.
Well, that's exactly right. And, our online banking program is second to none. I've mentioned not too recently with you, but Susan does all of our banking. She does it online. And she used to do her parents' banking, and they had bank accounts at other banks, and she would do their banking online. And she said that ours was the best in terms of ease. And so we encourage folks to come visit with us. Let us talk about how we can be their bank.
Well, I think what you said just goes right in line with your theme, simple banking, simply better.
Yep, it does indeed. And you got a great program coming up. I can't wait to hear it. You got 3 great gentlemen here. I can't wait to get outside and tune you in.
Well, we will just let you go then.
All right, buddy.
Thanks
Good to be
for
with
being
you.
with us. See you next time. That is Bob McDonald. He's President, Chief Executive Officer, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Julia, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. And that takes us to 10 minutes after the hour here on a Wednesday. And I have a trio of people to introduce this morning. They are with Wilson County Cast Iron. I don't know whether more goes with that title or not, but Pastor Ryan Bennett, First United Methodist Church, is here, I guess the leader. And good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm one of the 4 administrators. Our actual leader was unable to make it today. He had something that prevented him from being able to be here.
Well, in addition to Ryan Bennett, we have Scott Salyers. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Richard Stout.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to see all of you, and you were telling me that you did some work out here 30 years ago.
I did. Every time I look around and see something else, I can almost see my handprints on it. I didn't realize it'd been that long, but time has a way of getting away.
Right. Well, we're here to talk about your group, Wilson County Cast Iron
Community.
Community. All right. Wilson County Cast Iron Community. And you are 3 of several.
3 of at least 4. Dave Stout is our founding member. He started the group. He has a passion for restoring and using vintage cast iron, cooking outdoors with cast iron, kind of just, talking about the heritage and history of cast iron, and that's where this group started.
Well, how did you get interested in this?
It's something that I've used. I mean, I remember learning to cook in my grandmother's kitchen with cast iron. My mom uses cast iron. We've, I just think it's a great cookware, and I think as we're learning some of the pitfalls of these modern cookware, some of the things that aren't as good as they were advertised, that people are realizing that there's value in this cast iron.
Okay, well, let me ask Richard Stout pretty much the same question. What attracted you?
Well, of course, I'm a generation older than these 2 gentlemen on my right and left. When I was a kid, that's what people used was cast iron. I think my mother had maybe 1 aluminum pan or pot. She cooked beans in one. She had one of those old electric ranges with the pot that sat down in the range, and so she cooked beans in that. But everything else was pretty much cooked in the cast iron skillet, and so I've always used one.
Yeah.
She taught us all to cook. She said, she told all 4 of us kids, she said, I'm not always going to be around, and you're going to have to learn some things. You're going to have to learn to cook. You're going to have to learn to wash your clothes, and it's. I fear my job's complete if I can teach you all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been using cast iron all my life, and it's plus 70 years plus now.
Okay. Well, what about you, Scott Salyers?
I'm kind of the newest member of the group. I joined in years after these guys had already been rolling with it. But I came to them because of history. The last time I was on your show, we were talking about Fiddler's Grove. Mm-hmm. I'm on the board over there, and I do a lot of the demonstration things there when the tour groups of the kids come through. Like for the fall right now, we're welcoming kids at about 100 at a time. They come in and get to learn about the history of Wilson County with all the old buildings. Sometimes I'll set up a campfire cooking demonstration there. And that's kind of what led me to this group. Somebody had mentioned to me, you really need to meet Richard, because Richard is the guy that was putting the cast iron that's been restored in our general store at Fiddler's Grove. So I'd met you first, I believe, and then Dave. Come to find out, me and Dave are nearly neighbors out in the Bellwood community. So that's kind of what led me to it, was just the history of it all. I also like to talk to people about the stories that they have with their family, especially like what Richard was just mentioning with his grandma. That's the funny thing about all this is that every time we go out and cook at a demonstration, people come out of the woodwork to come and share all of their family stories. They'll see us cooking and they'll start talking about, oh, my grandma had that same thing, or my grandpa used to do this, or I had this crazy uncle that used to make biscuits like that. And it's the history of it, man.
Well, what is your purpose is to let people know about this and know what they're missing in a sense?
Yeah, this group started in 2019. It's a Facebook group, so if anybody wants to look us up on Facebook, the Wilson County Cast Iron Community, and we were plugging along at about 30 members heading into 2020. Just a few little people that enjoyed cast iron, but then if you remember, something happened in 2020.
I remember.
People were unable to go out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They dug in their closets and in their attics and found their old grandmother's cast iron. They pulled it out and they go, how can I restore this and start cooking with it again? And all of a sudden, our group just took off. And we were adding 70, 80 people a day, sometimes over the pandemic. As people were wanting to learn how to cook with their cast iron, how to use it, they wanted to know how to restore it. They would post pictures. It's got rust on it. It's got, organic matter on it. How can I clean it up and use it? How do I cook with it? And that's really how our group took off. And in fact, today we want to announce at some point our 1,000th member who joined our group on Monday night. So we went from 30 members in early 2020 to on October 23rd, we gained our 1,000th member.
That's phenomenal growth.
It really is.
We've got to take a break right here, but we'll talk more of this group in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford. That regular oil change, $39.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up this earlier wreck in Murfreesboro, Pike at Donaldson Pike. Now it is heavy as we stare at it live on 24 westbound, trying to get up through the Hickory Hollow area, coming in from Rutherford County, leaving Murfreesboro towards Nashville. Still a lot of volume also trying to get through Hendersonville right now westbound on Vietnam. That's headed towards Conference Drive. Prince's Hot Chicken, they're hiring at all locations. You can order online today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is State Representative Clark Boyd. I just wanted to wish WANT 98.9 a happy 30th anniversary.
Hi, this is Cindy Ahola with the Wilco Powwow. We want to wish WANT 98.9 a happy 30th anniversary.
Hi, this is Jason Lawson, your District Attorney General. I just want to wish WANT a wonderful 30th birthday and thank them for all of their contributions to our community and keeping everyone informed on what's going on in Wilson County.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coleman and Company, welcome to our program. And if you were just joining, we're talking about the Wilson County Cast Iron Community this morning. We have Ryan Bennett, Richard Stout, and Scott Selgers with us. And what's one of the first things people want to know or talk about when they find out what you're doing and about your group?
Scott's right that they want to reminisce because it just takes us back to a different time, a different place. It's amazing the stories that cast iron opens up. But then they want to know, how can I use my cast iron? Because people are afraid to use it. They're afraid they're going to mess it up. And, and if with a little bit of guidance, cast iron is basically indestructible, and it can be used. And it's, this morning I fixed my son's breakfast on a piece of cast iron that's probably about 130 years old or older. And, you just think about all the generations that have used it. I found it in a state sale, rusted. I've restored it, seasoned it back up, and now it's back in service. And it's pretty amazing to think about.
Well, I think there's one thing. I believe you don't put a cast iron skillet in a dishwasher. Is that right?
Whatever. No, you don't do that.
That's one thing you don't. There are a lot of wives' tales about cast iron that aren't true, but that's a good rule to follow. Don't put it in the dishwasher.
Well, I learned that from my wife. I think we've got one. I don't know whether she ever uses it or not. I do not cook, but maybe I need to learn.
Mm-hmm. We can probably teach you.
Yeah. What's stood out with you, Richard? With all you've done, you were in this pretty much in the beginning, weren't you?
Yeah. And the way that I met Dave was kind of interesting. Dave and my wife attend church, Rise Church, and because Dave and I share the same last name, even though we're not related, people assumed that Dave and my wife were married. And that went on for several months. And she said, "You've got to come meet this guy," meaning Dave. He likes cast iron. He's crazy about it like you are. And I've been collecting for years. And so I started referring to him as my wife's church husband, and neither one of them appreciated that. But that's how I met Dave. And it turns out that even though we're not related, or it'd take a genealogist to figure out how we might be, we have a lot of things in common besides cast iron. Well, we immediately hit it off. And we've been dear friends for, about 5 years now, I guess.
Well, good. Do you have regular meetings?
No, we do a lot of demos. Scott is a good one to talk about some of the things we do when we get together.
All right. Let's hear it.
Well, that's really what drew me into the group. I like to be out and talking to folks about history and how history still is relevant in everybody's lives and the kind of things we can learn from it. So whenever I had first met Richard and then met Dave, and Dave's a very magnetic personality when you get a chance to meet him, I was ready to go. He said, we just like to set up and cook for people and just show them. He jokes about the gospel of cast iron. So I had come out to one of these cooking events that they were doing for the state park. They were out at Cedars of Lebanon State Park at one of their WPA days. So I had showed up out there not knowing what to expect. I bring along my little camp oven ready to set up and figured I was just going to sit around a campfire with 4 old crusty fellers. Come to find out, it's a big draw. Everybody's just coming to see it because, there's something real and tangible about that when you're sitting around a fire with people and you're cooking food. We deal with a lot of people that if their microwave can't cook their burrito in the morning, they're in trouble, man. They've got very little hope when it comes to real wholesome cooking. So to watch people really respond to it, I was hooked immediately just because of that public demonstration aspect. So we go to state parks and do different cooking events. Most of the time it's in coordination with some kind of a Heritage Day festival. So we just went over to Frozen Head State Park in Wartburg, Tennessee. We were invited there by Jacob Ingram. He's their park manager. He happens to be the son of Buddy Ingram, the fella that used to run Cedars Lebanon out here. He had seen us doing it here in Lebanon and was like, man, you guys really got to come over to this Heritage Day thing we do. So that first year we did that event, that was probably 4 years ago. Yeah. Me and Dave were the only ones that could commit to it because it was only about a week away from when he asked us. We rolled out there and literally slept on the ground and camped out and cooked for them the next day. And it was just a big hit. So we go do that event every year. When there's things that go on in town here, there's some farm-to-table dinner events that happen in town. We've cooked for those. The church will hold social events, and we'll cook for those. Just any event that we can be in front of a lot of people and show them how to cook over fire and with charcoal, we take advantage of it.
There's also a service component to what we do. We cooked a meal for Compassionate Hands and served it. So the guests at Compassionate Hands would come out and watch us cook the food over an open fire, charcoal and propane and things like that. And then we serve them. And it's just kind of a fun interaction.
Well, now, you can only get so much in one of those skillets. They're not all the same size, I guess, but pretty much the same size, aren't they?
Scott has a 15-gallon kettle that we cook stew in at the Frozen Head State Park event over an open fire with a tripod. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see pictures of it. So we go from 15 gallons down to probably a small little skillet, but all in between.
Well, and you just mentioned a skillet, Coleman. You don't recognize that you are sitting in the midst of two of the greatest cast iron collectors and hoarders there are on the planet. Hoarders, yes. These fellers, between them, I keep hearing stories, and I've been around these guys for years. I don't even know how much they have. Maybe
you
Ryan.
know how much I have. I moved about a year ago, and these three guys helped me move my cast iron, and it took all three of their vehicles to get my cast iron moved.
But
I don't know how many I have.
We keep hearing like these guys have multiple storage bases to keep all of this stuff. So
all right, what's a cast iron skillet go for? What can you buy one for?
Oh, well, it goes for, you can buy new ones at Walmart for $20, lodges in the camping area, and it goes up to, there's some vintage collectible skillets that'll go for $2,000 and $3,000.
You haven't got any George Washington used, have you?
Not that I'm aware of. So.
Well, it seems like this is really catching on.
Yeah, it really is. People are seeing the value of cast iron, especially as you're hearing reports of some of this Teflon cookware and the dangers of it. Go back to the things our grandparents used, and it worked, and it's the original nonstick cookware, and it really is. If you understand how to use it and a little bit of practice, it's indestructible, and it's nonstick, and it makes great food.
Well, people catch on to this pretty readily.
Yeah, like I said, we just introduced our 1,000th member into the group on Monday, and can I announce it?
Yes,
so he doesn't even know it. I hope he's a listener of yours because it'll be really exciting for him. But we're going to reach out to him as soon as this is over. But Corey Miller of Lebanon, you are the 1,000th member of the Wilson County Cast Iron community, and we have some prizes that we're going to get to you. But we're excited to welcome you into the community.
All right, if people listening, this whets their appetite, they want to know more or want to become members, I take it they're welcome.
Two things. One, they can go to Facebook right now and search Wilson County Cast Iron Community and request to join, and we'll approve you. We try to keep the spam accounts out of there, but we want people, especially in this area, who want to learn about it. There's all kinds of information. You don't have to know a lot to be a part of it. We'll teach you. We'll help you. And the second thing is this Sunday evening from 5 to 6:30 at First United Methodist Church in town, we're going to be doing a demo. We're going to be cooking in that big kettle. We're going to be cooking over open fire. We're going to be making desserts, biscuits, cornbread, stew, and offering samples. We'll answer questions. You can bring your skillets in, and we'll help identify them, tell you how to restore them.
Well, some are probably in very poor shape. Do they rust?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they will rust.
Yes.
And how do you get rid of that rust?
Well, there's a number of different ways. There are probably more wrong ways than right ways. You can ruin a skillet pretty easily if you get on it with a mechanical tool of some kind, a power grinder or something like that. You can mess the skillet up. We recommend, as far as removing just rust, if it's light, you can usually do it with a Brillo pad and a little elbow grease. If it's a little heavier coating of rust, soaking it in a 50-50 mixture of white vinegar and water and checking it every 30 to 45 minutes, scrubbing it. That'll take the rust off. And there are products on the market. Evaporust is one that comes to mind that's made specifically for that. It's a little pricey, but it does a great job of removing rust. And then there are more sciencey ways of doing it. When I restore stuff, I use an electrolysis process, and we don't have time for me to go into that. But anyway, it does an excellent job now.
Well, it's good to hear that this is coming back, but I guess you can use this in more ways than I envisioned. I grew up around some of this too, but there were 5 girls in my family, so I didn't have to learn to cook.
Yeah, if you want to, sear a steak, you can get that thing up to 400 or 500 degrees on the stovetop. You can transfer it into the oven. You can cook on an open fire, charcoal, gas. You can use it in so many different ways. It's just a great piece of cookware.
I had to convince my wife of that. So I was being one of the younger members of the group. I didn't grow up with it necessarily as much as these two guys did. But my wife was convinced you couldn't put it on a glass cooktop stove. And come to find out, that's actually like the perfect thing to cook on a glass cooktop stove with, because it takes the heat so well. And then like the modern induction burners that you see all these like TikTok chefs working with, they always use cast iron because it works so well on it. So it actually is the modern perfect thing to cook with.
Believe it or not, we're down to our last minute, but you've got a meeting coming up, and have an idea you're going to have a lot of people want to be there and learn more.
Yeah, we anticipate Sunday evening, 5 to 6:30 at 415 West Main Street, First United Methodist Church, with part of their fall festival. We anticipate 300 or 400 people coming through and tasting the food. We'll have desserts and stew and biscuits and cornbread. We'll answer any questions. We'll help you learn how to use your cast iron cookware that you have in your attic.
And you mentioned Facebook. What's the best way to access that?
Yeah, just search Wilson County Cast Iron Community, request to join. We'll approve you, and you got all kinds of information at your disposal.
So from how many did you start with?
In early 2020, we had about 30 members.
30, from 30 to 1,000.
1,001. We actually received another person in the other day, so we're up over 1,000 now.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for being with us this morning. And Pastor Ryan Bennett, Richard Stout, Scott Salyers, thank you so much.
Thank you, Coleman. Thank you.
That is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, so please keep it here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Here's what we see. Still a lot of traffic coming down through Hendersonville right now, westbound on Vietnam Vets, trying to get to Conference Drive. It's starting to get heavier just in the last 15, 20 minutes coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24, but it's moving westbound through the Hickory Hollow area. Pretty crowded now, coming through Hermitage with all that traffic on 40 West, making its way in from Wilson County. Hey, there's an adventure around every corner at the Memphis Zoo. Check out their website for all the details of what's going on, memphiszoo.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
It's that time of year. Time for the 11th annual The Mill at Christmas, Friday, November 3rd and Saturday, November 4th at the Mill at Lebanon. Join us Friday, November 4th, VIP Sip and Shop from 4 to 9 p.m. Holiday shopping bag, bubbly bar, and decadent dessert. $10 at the door, perfect for the girls' night out. Saturday, November 5th, family fun and all-day shopping event, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come see Santa. He arrives at noon. The Mill at Christmas, the ultimate shopping experience. Find us on Facebook, The Mill at Christmas.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Expecting more beautiful weather throughout the day today, warming up to a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy back down to 56, and mostly sunny skies nearing 80 for your Thursday. South winds the next 2 days could gust up to 20 miles per hour, so do keep that in mind.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services, where you get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
We continue here on a Wednesday. Welcome to our program, part two of Coleman Company. And Wednesdays on the second half, we lead off with representative from Kane and Crowell BLLC. Kane and Crowell located at 133 South College Street. We kind of identified the location there by the gray Victorian house that was built in the 1800s. Well, this morning, Kayla Costley joins us to talk about Kane and Crowell. You've been here at least once before since you started this, and welcome again.
That's right, Coleman. I'm happy to be here. I believe I've been here a few times, so it's good to be back.
Well, any particular message for us today?
Well, Coleman, I would just say it's a very busy time at our office right now, which is a good thing. We're always pretty busy right before the holidays, and then around the holidays it starts to slow down a little bit. Just to let everybody know, we have a great estate team at Kane and Crowell. On top of domestic, I know that's what we're largely known for, but we also have a estate planning team and probate, conservatorships, and that would be myself, Angel Kane, Bryson Eubanks. We handle the estates in the office. So that covers anything from Medicaid, veterans benefits, estate planning, that would be last will and testament, powers of attorney, certain documents like that. So we're always happy to help in that area too.
I think we've discussed this a little bit here, and people do tend to put things off, and sometimes they wait to the last minute, and sometimes almost past the last minute. To get started earlier on what you're talking about here is the best way, right? And early means before you're behind the eight ball with time constraints and this sort of thing, right?
That's correct. So I tell people all the time it's never too early to do your estate planning, because we never know what could happen, obviously. And so even, our younger people, especially if you have children, you want to get your estate planning affairs in place. If you don't have them in place, then sometimes the court has to intervene, and that can obviously be expensive and a big mess at times.
But that for somebody that's really young, maybe in their late 20s, early 30s, and their children are small, that's a hard sell, isn't it?
Well, kind of. I mean, it's so myself. I'm young in that age bracket, and I have a 3-year-old. So I always kind of relate to my clients in that way. I have a will with a trust for my daughter, so that if something happened to me, she would be taken care of. Also, in my documents, I'm able to put in there who I would want to care for her in the event that I'm unable to, or her dad is unable to.
Yeah. So even at that, even in the 20s, early 30s, that it's good to have. It's maybe not an absolute necessity, but very good. You're planning ahead. You get this done, and then you don't have to worry about it if something like that happens.
That's right. And then you have all of your affairs in place, and you're good to go.
What are some people who have waited too long? What's some of the things you come up against if you don't go ahead and take care of it?
So the biggest thing would be if you don't have power of attorney in place and something happens and you're in the hospital, you're unable to make the decisions for yourself, then your family's forced to go to the court and obtain a conservatorship over you. And so that obviously is a big deal. That's your family having to file an action with the court to take all of your rights from you, just so that they are able to make those decisions for you.
If you put things off too long, are you talking about maybe having to spend more money as well?
That's correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And nobody likes to do that if they can help it.
That's right.
Although it seems that you really you have a great staff of people, of attorneys, and the staff there at Kane and Crowell who are very well versed, very much experts in all the areas that you serve.
That's correct. We have 6 attorneys. So we have myself, Bryson Eubanks, Angel Kane, Amanda Crowell, Lindsay Johnson, and Mary Alice Carfee.
And of course, family law and elder law are the 2 big headings there that you take care of. But that there's a lot that comes under each one of those headings there. And your specialty is what now?
So my practice primarily would be domestic, so family law, and then estate planning, probate, conservatorships.
Mm-hmm. You favor one over the other, or you spend more time with one than the other?
Sometimes they go hand in hand, so it works out. But no, I enjoy them both very much.
Well, we like to give out your telephone number, 615-784-4800. That's a pretty easy one to remember, 784-4800. And You have a website. A lot of people take advantage of that, don't they?
Yes, they can actually reach out through the website to schedule a consult, and the website is www.kane-law.com.
Yeah. www.kane-law.com, and if we say that enough times, it'll grow up.
That's right.
So many people do start with on the website. That's and you have I guess all the vital information is right there. I haven't tried it, but that's what the website's all about.
That's right. We just revamped our website, so it's great, and it provides a lot of information. So anyone can visit the website, or they can always give us a call. We're happy to help.
And I guess most of the time, if somebody's going to investigate your services, maybe want to get you to do the job for them, you have an initial meeting. You have to have an appointment for that, right?
That's correct. And so you can call to schedule that, or you can reach out through the website, and our office will get in contact with you and schedule it that way too.
Okay. Anything else this morning?
I believe that's all I have, Coleman.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, Kayla Costley, and we'll remind everybody again, Kane and Crowell PLLC, 133 South College Street, the gray Victorian house built in the 1800s. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. We're about 21 minutes before the hour, and I have a couple of ladies who are going to be my guests and going to be talking about some special things this morning. My friend Becky Andrews, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. You wear a lot of hats.
I do, and I'm not really a hat person. It depends on what kind of hat it is.
You have actually worked at this radio station a little bit in your life.
Yes, I did.
You've been on, done some TV.
Yes.
But you are also in the real estate business.
Yes, that's my real job.
And so that's what you're here to talk about
Yes.
this morning.
I'm actually here with my partner, Linda Burge. Linda and I have been working together for a long time. I think I was her buyer's agent. I was her buyer's agent in the beginning when I first got my license for a few years.
I think we're coming up on almost 20 years together.
Yeah.
Linda Burge,
Yeah,
welcome to our program.
Good morning.
I think this is a first for you, isn't
And
it?
no, it's actually, we did this many, many years ago. I'm trying to think.
Well, it slips my memory, but
Yeah.
anyway, we welcome both of you.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks for letting us be here.
What all do you want to tell us this morning? You want people to know about your real estate, obviously.
Right. And one of the things that we do when we list a home is we stage. That's part of the services that we offer. And so a lot of times people don't realize what goes into that, and they can do it on their own. They don't necessarily need someone to come in and do it for them. So we were just going to go over some of the things that you can do, small changes you can make to your house that net big returns on when you go to sell it. So that, Linda.
So definitely one of the things you want to do is to clear your home of as much things as you can in rooms. Make the rooms feel bigger. Take away boxes. Take away unnecessary things you're not using. The key is to really make each room feel very simple. Simple with your decor, simple with all your accessories, and also to kind of neutralize everything. If you can avoid a lot of color, one of our key things that we do is we go to very light colors. We'll put new bedding a lot of times in the bedrooms. We'll put, a lot of white and light colors like that, grays, to just lighten up a room and take down curtains that are not necessary. Sometimes curtains make a room look heavy. So those are some of the things that we do.
Yeah. It's a good thing to do too, because it gets you, once you declutter, you're going to be moving anyway. So it's a good way to kind of get started on your packing, because that's the first impression is going to be online. So you want to give that the best impression you can the very first time, because you're competing with other, listings.
But that can have the difference in making a sale and not making one.
Well, I tell you what it does. When people see your house online for the first time, if those pictures look good, they're going to want to see your house first. So you are definitely going to get more activity in the house, and taking professional photos too always helps. But one of the things we replace bedding with white bedding, shower curtains. If you have shower curtains, you do we put up white shower curtains, white towels, and really just taking down. My house is cluttered. Anytime we go and stage and we're moving stuff around and helping like pack stuff away, I go home and I'm like, God, we've got to clean our house. We've got to get all this junk out. My house would not be ready to sell right now. I have a lot of clutter that from your kids and all of that. So that's one of the things that it makes a huge difference. And then there's also other things you can do that you may spend a little money. There's things that are worth it when you spend a little money that you're going to net. Sometimes you don't want to go in and renovate your kitchen, even though that's a great thing to do. You're not going to get dollar for dollar if you do that just to sell. But painting is affordable. Is an affordable change. And it can net a lot of return, especially if you have dark rooms. Just putting up, painting a lighter color really brightens the space, or replacing light fixtures. That's something that's relatively inexpensive, and it makes a big difference, especially if you're in an older home.
All right, so the idea here is to make it look as well as, but don't spend more money than it's going to
Than
make
it's worth, and that's kind of what we're here for too, because we can help facilitate. We have contractors that we work with. Linda is a contractor. Her husband's a custom builder. She does high-end kitchen and bath renovation, or whole house renovation. Yeah. So we have contacts for that, and because that makes a difference as well. And now in this market, especially if you're selling, this is not the market to be marketing to that California or New York buyer that you don't know exists yet. People that are moving because they have to, either for a job or it's part of an estate. But you don't want to overprice at this point. Pricing correctly is key as well.
Absolutely. And one of the things I think that sets us apart from a lot of agents is the fact that we stage when you list with us. Mm-hmm. We have so many of our clients that after we come in and stage their home, they're like, oh, maybe we don't want to move. Yeah. Because a lot of times, when someone else can come in and visualize your home differently. But, when we are staging, we also are sometimes moving furniture around. That helps to open up a space. How we always say to our clients, how you live in the house and how it is staged is, when you're going to sell, it needs sometimes to be staged differently than maybe how you currently have your home set with furniture. We sometimes go in there and literally move furniture around in a room in a completely different way and that just it helps, again, like I said, to open the spaces. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to engage that buyer when they walk in immediately to imagine what their the items would be like in the home as well. And it makes a difference. Yeah. Pricing correctly, staging, professional photos. If it's all three of those things, you can still, and this year we've managed to get multiple offers still, but it's because it's been priced correctly. Yeah, pricing is very key in this market right now.
All right. It is time for us to take a break. Becky Andrews and Linda Burge are here. We'll talk more in a moment on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford. Lifetime brake pad guaranteed. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Right now, southbound 65 right here at Trinity Lane. All that traffic trying to get down through East Nashville right now. Still crowded also on 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area as that traffic continues to build out of Rutherford County, Murfreesboro towards Nashville. It's starting to slow down through parts of Hermitage, especially I-40 westbound at Donaldson Pike. As you come past the airport, still a lot of traffic up through Spring Hill, 65 northbound. Coming in from Murray County through that section of Williamson County. Hey, there's an adventure around every corner at the Memphis Zoo. Check out their calendar of events and everything that's going on right now. It's a lot of fun. MemphisZoo.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Ward 4 City Councilman Chris Crowell. I just want to wish WANT and WCOR a happy 30th anniversary. We love you.
This is Gail Hibbert from the Farm Bureau Expo, and I would like to say happy anniversary to WANT FM 98.9.
This is Uncle Pete with the Veterans of Wilson County, wishing WANT a happy 30th year of broadcasting.
Hi, this is Judge Inslee Hagan, wishing WANT a happy 30th anniversary. Drug Free Wilco is partnering with local law enforcement agencies for National Prescription Drug Take Back Day on Saturday, October 28th from 10 to 2. Law enforcement will be hosting 4 events across the county at Gibbs Pharmacy, Walgreens on West Main, Three Forks Marketplace, and Mount Judd Pharmacy. Unused medications are a public safety issue that may lead to accidental poisoning, overdose, and abuse. Participants will receive a free lockbox from Drug Free Wilco. This project is funded under a grant contract with State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. My guests this morning with Remax West Main Realty here in Lebanon, Becky Andrews and Linda Burge. And we sort of interrupted what you were saying here to go to a break. Now we're ready to go till 8 o'clock. So what else you got for us this morning?
Well, we were talking about staging and pricing correctly when you go to list a home. And I think one of the things that we were talking about was, we have gotten multiple offers this year. That was on our listings when they are priced correctly.
Currently, in this market, that just doesn't seem to be happening as much.
Well, and if it's not getting, if it's on the market a while, there's one of 2 things. It's either location or price. You really can't do anything about the location of a home, so you have to change the price. And we hear it all the time. There's somebody out there that's going to buy it. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
We just don't have the pool of buyers that we had last year. I think people became so accustomed to, all of the folks that were moving in here from California and different places and all of last year we were experiencing so many multiple offers on all of our listings where now it's definitely not as frequent.
Well, and the interest rates has calmed that down too. And I think now, you have a lot of people that they're not going to move because they're in a house now that they have a 2.5%, 3% interest rate. They couldn't turn around and buy the house they're in now with the interest rate that's now and still have the same payment. Mm-hmm. Their payment might be a little bit higher.
No, it's like double now.
So that's one of the things. We have a client that we work with, and I think they have it's a ridiculously low rate, like a 2.25. I don't know how he got it. It's right in the thick of when everything was really low. And he said, I told my wife I would leave her before I left my interest rate. No. So that's, unless you have to move for work or another circumstance.
Or you're moving to another city.
Yeah, it's not, it happens. I mean, we've sold several this year that people have moved from one house in Lebanon to another in Lebanon just because they needed more space. But they'll go down eventually. I mean, I think, somebody last week at Wilson Make, I was speaking to him and he said, oh no, it's going to be 18 to 24 more months. I was thinking next year because it's an election year, it would go down. I don't think it will ever be at 3%. That was just kind of like one of those wild and crazy times that we, like college.
Well, I have been in this industry for almost 30 years because I actually used to be in the mortgage business. I was in the mortgage business for 12 years. And so I have experienced lots of ups and downs. And in my career, since 1989, I have only seen the interest rates that low just recently. They have, I bought my first home in 1989 and my interest rate was 9.5%. So I think that is very historic low, and to think in 30 years, that's the only time we've seen it is in the last couple of years, and that was right after the pandemic. People need to come to accustom. If we can get back down into the 6% range, that's a wonderful rate. So
I can remember our first house was 7%. And that was, my dad was like, oh my gosh, this was also 98, but our house was also $90,000. It's a big difference now for kids that are buying their first house because my son's best friend and his wife just bought a house recently. And, when you're buying a $385,000 house with that kind of interest rate, the payment could be, and their interest rate was lower than that, but the payment can be astoundingly high. Yeah. So it makes a difference. Like I can say, I had 7%. I understand what it's like, but I also had a $90,000 house, and my mortgage, I think with everything, was like $800 and that included taxes and insurance. So it's a difference now, and I hate it for especially first-time home buyers and people that are single.
Well, it does make it a little bit rougher. You maybe are not able to have as fine a home because of the interest rate.
Well, and it almost prices you out completely. Yeah. I mean, because it makes it difficult to there was a time too where you could buy a house and your mortgage would be cheaper than rent. It's like, oh, I'm going to be able to, but that's not even the case anymore.
And there's just not even really inventory out there really that's for a first-time home buyer. Now it's very difficult to find something that a first-time home buyer can afford. And when they are available, they sell very quickly because there's such a small inventory of it.
Is there a segment of the market that you deal with more than others necessarily?
We've dealt with a lot of estates, and we do deal with a lot of first-time home buyers as of late. Our children's friends are getting old enough to look at houses, and and we do a lot of land, list a lot of farms and things like that. I mean, with our tenure in this business, we have done everything. High-end homes, we've done a lot of high-end homes, million-dollar homes, multi-million-dollar homes. So, I mean, I think we cover, and then we also do commercial. I think in the last several years, we've really expanded our commercial And that
side.
is a completely different animal than residential.
But commercial can be something as small as a business office. I mean, or a building.
It's those
or
big
commercial
pieces of
land.
Yeah, the commercial land where you're rezoning, and those are the ones where you get to learn a lot.
Well, let's get a good phone number for you.
Okay, so my number is 615-969-6751.
And I'm 615-485-8200. And you can call us directly, and we'd be glad to talk to you about if you're thinking about listing or buying.
And even if you just want to pick somebody's brain about if you're thinking about, because a lot of people do want, we have a lot of people that want to list for sale by owner, and we totally get that. But a phone call is quick and easy, and we might be able to save you a little money.
And between the two, you do have a number of years' experience. You know what you're talking about.
Yes, because we're old.
20 and 19, 20. Oh, no, I'm actually 22.
No, she was 23. Yeah.
Going on.
So a while. I'm getting old. When I started working here, I was 21.
Well, and when we both started kind of teaming up, we had small kids, and so our kids have grown up and went through college, and now have started buying their own homes. So
my youngest is a sophomore in college this year.
What about a website? Do you?
Our website is mycitymyhometn.com.
Okay. And I guess that a lot of people, that's just the way you do it anymore. Sometimes even before you make a phone call, you go to the website.
Oh, yeah. We do everything online these days. I think anything to keep from actually engaging sometimes people like to do. And I get that.
Yeah. Well, is maybe the uncertainty, especially about interest rates themselves, I think you ask 10 people, 5 are going to say the Fed's going to raise it some more, and another 5 is going to say they're either going to leave it where it is or go lower. But that's kind of uncertainty. Does that play into the reactions of people quite a bit?
Oh, absolutely. And everybody's an expert, too.
Well, I think what it does is, again, Becky had alluded to this earlier, that really people right now, because of the interest rates, it's really because they need to move. It's not because, I want a bigger house. A want and a need are two different things. And so I think that's where the home buyers and home sellers are right now. Is it's a need and it's not a want.
But there is an advantage to purchasing now, because eventually interest rates will come down. And if you purchase now, you can refinance your loan. But if you wait until interest rates go down, the price of the home is going to go up. Because that's still happening. As much as it's kind of slowed a bit, we still have very low inventory. So that's what it's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Well, I think that's a good point there, and I hadn't really even thought of that. Sure, you can always refinance if interest rates go down.
Absolutely.
And, during that period of time, for a good while, heard so much of that, people refinancing and save some money by doing that a lot.
So, if you buy something today and the interest rate's 8.5%, let's say 12 months, it goes down to 6%.
Mm-hmm.
But the house you just bought went up in value, because there's just not a lot of inventory. You can refinance, and the money that you're going to save on that is worth it.
Yeah, they have a little saying these days now: date the rate and marry the home. Is that how it's said?
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
but I like it.
Yeah, so the rate is something that's temporary, whereas the home is more permanent. And, again, with my years in the mortgage business, that's a situation that happens a lot. People, I've refinanced over the years with different homes when the rate goes down. When it went down, in 2021, I think is when I refinanced.
We refinanced in December of 2020, and our rate was really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about you have a number of listings. I guess you have you have years of experience, more than you might think.
Yeah.
And then you're available to help people, to answer questions. And we're in our last minute here this morning, but Remax, West Main Realty, Becky Andrews, and Linda Burge. And your phone number, 615-769...
969.
6751.
Yes.
And Linda's is 615-485-8200.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And what's the best website?
mycitymyhome10.com.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll do it again next month.
We'll see you next month.
All right. Becky
Thanks,
Andrews,
Coleman.
Linda Burge. And that is part 2 of Coleman and Company here for a Wednesday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.